Check, 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 check. Oh, we had them. They are relying too much on Daniels, man. That's not good. They are messing that kid up. That's kind of stupid. They're lying. They're lying. They're lying to Washington fans. They're lying to Washington fans right now. Come on now. What's going on? That's stupid. Well, let's go, guys! We are officially in the building. I'm just let me see, 26 for 42, 138, 184. That's not that's altogether. That's not throwing though. All right. Let's talk about it, man. Shellacking. That was a shellacking. I thought I thought that we should be able to handle them pretty easily. I did think there was a chance that they make it a close game because of his legs, but I did not see him being the way he was. Um, and if you're seeing there wasn't a turnover. I thought we got an interception. No. Um, let me turn this off. Let me put this on real quick. That way, once the what is it? go. Once we get some press conference going, we can see that, right? Bucks press conference. It might be on already. No, it's not on yet. All right. So we got the Bucks press conference when it's ready to go. See that. Yeah, man. I think as you can tell by that goal line stance they just had, a lot of Jaden Daniels running with it. They're not setting that kid up for failure, bro. They're basically not developing him. It looks like they're just like, what can we do with you? And I could be wrong. Maybe in the background they're developing him and they're just not putting him in there or doing anything. But it seems like they're like, what can you do? Okay, let's just do that instead of working on how to get him better and giving him plays here and there. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is if I'm a Washington fan, I'm a little nervous because they were too dependent on Jaden Daniels' legs. Way too dependent. He was too dependent on his legs. I don't think he was going through his progressions well enough. But hey, you know what? This is a Bucks channel. This is not a Washington channel. So let's talk about the Bucks while we wait for this press conference to start. Yeah. First off, let's get some shout outs. Buck Rays Bolts in the building. Right? Big win. Professor X in the building. We in here. Bucks for Life just got done trolling some Commandered podcast. What a beautiful day today. Yeah? Rashad West in the building. 1-0. 1-0, my friend. 1-0. Amazement in the building. 4 straight season opening wins. Took care of business, basically. Yes. I figured he would hurt us a bit with his legs, but wasn't too worried overall. Liam was dialing it up nicely, though. Loved the mix, especially in the second half. I was worried because I felt like, man, if he's killing us like that and the arm, but he never got to the arm part. And the more that the quarters went away, and the more that I'm waiting for him to just show me some passing stuff, the less I got worried and figured, okay, they're depending on that. That's not going to work. You're not going to win the ball game like that. Big out in the building. Yes, sir. Got that W. So let's talk about it, man. I want to talk about the defense first because the offense just. So let's talk about the defense. Very worried about the defense. First of all, I was worried about Kalijah Cansey not being there because, again, this man's legs. Well, I can say this. Kalijah Cansey being there, well, I won't say that because we don't know. Because maybe that fast pressure up the middle would have did some damage. Because as you can see, when we started sacking him, it was when Vita Vea was pushing the pocket up the middle and made him step back. And when he stepped back, he was stepping back right into our pass rushers' lanes, which is why Joe Tryon was kind of having a game. Smacked him a few times. Now, I don't know if it was the game plan for Yaya Diaby to take the inside a lot, because he took the inside from that tackle. He took the inside a lot. So I don't know if that was the game plan or if that was Yaya being young and not understanding that Jaden Daniels, you don't want to give him the outside. So I don't know. We'll find out next week if Yaya's doing the same thing, because he did it a lot. I don't mind that he was doing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I mind a little bit because it was Jaden Daniels. But again, he did it a lot to where I was like, why is he going to the inside so much? Like, is that the game plan or what? So I don't know. But we'll find out next week. And also, it wouldn't matter. It only mattered as much because of Jaden Daniels' legs. Other quarterbacks ain't gonna have that type of speed, man, unless we're playing against Lamar Jackson, right? So, um, defense, I was worried because of Kalijah Kancey not being there, but our backups did good enough. They did good enough in the run game. KJ Britt did good enough in the run game. Um, to and our outside, let's be honest, man, you got to give credit where credit's due. Our outside pass rush, JTS, he was doing his thing. He was doing this again. The one that people want to trash talk and say this and say that. He was doing his thing, man. Um, the blitzing, we started blitzing. We weren't blitzing in the beginning, but Todd Bowles started blitzing towards the middle and the end of the games. The blitzing started getting there. Our corners, man, our corners going down. Zion went down out of concussion. Hopefully he'll be back next week. Then what was the other dude? Josh Hayes went out. I didn't remember even seeing Josh Hayes out there, but he went out. And right when they were gonna announce that he went out, looks like we might have lost Bryce Hall for the season. So that whole veteran backup stuff that we had planned all year is probably done and gone. But yeah, we lost Zion, we lost Josh Hayes, and we lost what's his name? Bryce Hall in this game. Now, hopefully Zion McCollum should come back next week and be good for the season. The reason why he got out, I saw it. When he got pushed in the back, he saw a time to tackle homeboy and basically just try to jump and hit him and led with his head, and I gave him the concussion. Hopefully he'll be back. But Izien came in. Izien is our safety / nickel guy. And Izien came in and played outside corner and played pretty good. He wasn't a problem. Now, again, we were playing Jaden Daniels, so maybe there was some opportunities that a veteran quarterback could have took advantage of that Jaden Daniels didn't. Bose is up.
Coach, you came into the game 3 defensive linemen down, then you lost the way the rest of your guys were responding tonight.
I thought they did a heck of a job. Izzy at corner, playing the corner, and the rest of the guys coming up with Brewer coming up and Mike Green coming up, and Steele coming up. Those guys did a heck of a job inside, along with Will and Gaines playing out of position as well.
Do you have any updates on injuries that happened?
Not just yet. We're going to wait and see what happens.
Come on, guys.
He did a heck of a job. He was good with his throws. He was good with his reads, with his checks. Everything was on point. He was excited. He ran when he had to, made some plays with his feet. He played a good overall game.
We're going to talk about it, NY Phenom. We're going to talk about it.
5-yard ones early. We needed to run it late, and we ran it late, which was great. The 1-2 punch with Rashad and Bucky is kind of how we planned it to be. And, one gets tired, the other one goes in and picks each other up, so that was positive.
Looked like Chris again.
Let them speak. We're going to talk about all that.
He looked great. He looked great. He did some good things in the run game as well as the pass game. He got loose on some plays. He made some big catches, and Chris looked like Chris.
Man, we got to talk about this offense so bad.
Points. There's some things we can be better at that we got to get better at in the first game. Happy to win, happy to score 37 points, and we'll move on from there.
So effective against McLaurin today.
Paid attention to him, number one. He's a hell of a receiver. The last person, Jaden can beat you with his legs, but that takes time. McLaurin can beat you in about 2 seconds, and that doesn't take any time. So we had to make sure that we paid good attention to him.
Of Jaden with his legs, it seemed like he was able to get more yardage scrambling in the first half versus the second. I know that some of that has to do with the lead that you had in the second half, but what were you guys able to do in the second half that kind of slowed you down a little bit?
We changed up some things and maybe 5-man pressure to take up some of the gaps, with Canty and Logan down, we weren't as fast in there or as quick
Right.
in there, so to speak.
Right.
So some of the balls got out. We understood that. Again, better him running than McLaurin catching the football, and we tried to
taking
clean that
off.
up in the
Yeah.
second half. So.
Todd, how often has Izzian prepared as a cornerback? Have you done any cross training there? What do you think of him?
I'm sure.
Over there, and how do you do?
He has not lined up at corner one day in training camp, but he
Wow.
plays nickel. So nickel and corner have the same jobs on certain things. Just hearing it from a different angle, and the safeties helped out a lot. The coaches, the DB coaches, did a good job getting them ready, and he did a good job.
Todd, you have 5 rookie draft picks who play significant minutes. You remember when you had in their first game? You remember when you've had a contribution like that from rookies?
I honestly don't. I'm getting old.
Any idea if Izzian had
Can
played
you talk
outside
about your
corner?
play?
I thought they did a good job. I mean, you saw it from Barton to Bucky to McMillan to Tyke.
Bucky, we got to talk about this offense, bro. Good Lord.
You know, it wasn't too big for him.
Any idea if Christian had played outside corner in college at all?
Not the plays I saw him at. He was at safety and at nickel. He hadn't played outside, but he is smart enough and he's feisty enough and tough enough. If you put him out there,
And we prepare them. We prepare them for the game.
Spots got a sack and some big tackles. First time getting his feet wet. It's really like his rookie game too. So we got to see the film and get everything else out the way. But he's confident. He's a very athletic guy, and he can do a lot of things for us.
How would you describe, Todd, Mayfield's ability to buy time in the pocket, the sense he has of the on-rushing rushers? He avoided 3 or 4 sacks today by doing that.
I mean, that's a quarterback thing. You have to have a feel for that. I can't sit up here and take credit for that, and I don't think the coaches can either. That's something that's ingrained in you that you learn to do over time, and Baker has that knack for it, and he makes the right decision mostly all the time, and he did a heck of a job today.
Are you guys going to have to bring in some outside help at cornerback? I mean, I know that you only have 4 guys active today at your outside.
Hopefully, we bring back Keenan
We'll see
Isaac.
what the test looks like, and then we'll come back and evaluate that during the week.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the NFC South and the Falcons and the NFC South,
Definitely gonna have to be on
you know, favorite Falcons. We're gonna talk about all that. Stay tuned.
Maybe a catchable ball, but then
We're gonna talk about all that.
I want you to having that third receiver. You know, Mike and Chris are going to get so much attention.
I mean, between him and Trey, you know, we have a viable third receiver that can that's a viable threat that can run screens, that can run deep, that can do the short things as well. So that opens up things for Mike and Chris as well.
To put up 37 in week 1, how much, and obviously a new offense, but how much does that speak to just the consistency within the offense, the guys that have returned, that have comfort with each other?
Well, even though we had 37, we had kicked some field goals. We can score some points. We want to be better than that. It was great for the first game just to get out and get our feet wet, but we have some things to work on there, and we got to be better.
At the same time, Chase missed a couple of kicks in the preseason. To see him come out perfect today, what does that say about him?
He did a good job. You know, Chase has been solid for us, and preseason he missed some things with the snap, some things with the hold, but he came back out today and he made some big kicks.
What'd you see from Bucky Irving, Coach?
Buck's a ball player. You know,
Gee,
his height
good.
and his size does not
Huh.
tell you does not magnify how good he is as a running back. He can run up the middle. He can catch the ball. He's tough. He finishes runs. He's very good making the first guy miss in the hole, and he had a heck of a ball game.
Which of Mike's touchdown catches impressed you more?
Probably the first one. Because
Yeah, first
Juice
one
was
was.
all over him. He has a guy his size and his height.
That
and
was
they were
nasty.
hand fighting, and to still come down with that was
That
impressive.
was
The number of
nasty
touches for
catch.
Bucky, did you anticipate that that's what he would get going into this game, or was some of that a function of riding the hot hand?
It's riding a hot hand and playing who's in there. And Rashad had his plays. Bucky had his plays.
We got a lot to talk about with this offense, man. So let's finish up with the defense before Baker comes. He's probably gonna come soon. Bowles said it. These guys came in. The guys that weren't starters, they came in. They did a pretty good job. Again, you got to give hand claps and shout outs to the coaches getting these guys prepared, and they came in ready to go, man, ready to do their thing. Maybe it sucks that the injuries happened in the backfield with secondary. Hopefully not too serious. At least we didn't play a team that didn't expose that. Yes, Baker was slippery. Baker was slippery out there. Rashad West says, with an offense like that, our defense just needs to hold on, get healthy for the playoffs. That's a big fact. Climactic in the building. Says, fire them cannons. Fire them cannons. Let's go. Okay, we got Baker coming up. Amber Lowe in the building.
Yeah, pretty efficient for the most part. Mentioned it right off the field. We just had to be more efficient in the red zone in the first half. Luckily Chase is pretty dialed in, so it's
Yes.
getting
Shout
field goals
out
out of
to Chase.
that. We'll take points always, but we'd love to be able to score touchdowns. But yeah, guys were really efficient for the most part. Yeah, ball distributed, based on where the defense was dictating. So our guys, they just have to be ready, and they were.
Oh, I got so much to say about this offense.
I don't know how he does it, man. Just trying to put the ball in his vicinity. First one, I don't know how he got around him and put his paws on it, but somehow he did, and that's what he does. I mean, that second touchdown to him was not really a good throw at all. He made an unbelievable play again. It's just when one-on-one coverage with Mike, those aren't 50-50 balls. It's leaning towards Mr. Evans.
You feel like Chris Godwin is back, as Chris Godwin
Yeah.
3.
Oh, we got so much to talk about with this offense.
Chris feels really good right now. I think he'll tell you guys that physically he feels good, and just this offense, it plays to his strengths. And so he's always been a smart football player. He's willing to do whatever the coaches are going to ask, but this is now his opportunity to really shine. Get back to that at least. He's always been a stud, but yeah, Chris looks really good. So. And, the more J-Mac can come along and some of these young receivers, the better it's going to be for Mike and Chris as well.
I missed J-Mac a couple times. One
Yep.
probably would like to catch, but and then you come back to the touchdown, his first reception. So what was it like kind of hanging with him and
Yeah.
feel for him?
J-Mac's an interesting guy. His emotions, it's kind of like a little roller coaster, but it's a fun ride to be on. But just tell him to stay with it. And he handled his first game really, really well. The ebbs and flows of a game, he was locked in the whole time, so he took advantage of his opportunity later on.
So in the first games, can you talk about the game that Bucky Irving had? There
Yeah.
some time from the
Look at
crowd.
his eyes, yeah.
You know what? It's some of those holes were pretty wide, but Bucky, when he hits the hole, he's hitting it. He hits it full speed, and so it's just good to be able to have somebody come in right after Rashad's being able to make plays and hit it like that. And obviously, I thought the O-line played really well, but when those guys have a chance to make somebody miss one-on-one, it's pretty fun to see.
You talked about this offense giving you more options on the line of scrimmage. Did you use that a lot today, and how much more comfortable are you with this offense and more things it gives you?
Yeah, really didn't have to do too much. I thought Liam called a great game. There were a few protection adjustments just based on what they were doing. A few times when we were checking a play, they'd flip the pressure and things like that. But yeah, didn't really have to reach into the toolbox too much today. Yeah, Liam called a great game.
In terms of the offensive line, how do you think Graham Barton did in his first game?
Really well. Those two guys they have in the interior, no slouches. So I thought guys played well up front. Everybody did. So we're going to look at the tape, but anytime you're that efficient on offense, the big men up front play well.
Hey, Baker, you use your legs a little bit more often today. Is that by design or just as needed to keep the play in bounds? Because you didn't have too many incompletions on the net.
Just as needed. One of them, when I scrambled, I probably could have thrown it to Cade on the left sideline, but just wound up trying to make a play on third down. But yeah, it's whenever they drop into coverage, like I said earlier on the pass game, defense coverage is going to dictate where the ball needs to go. And likewise, if I need to scramble out and gain a couple yards.
Baker, do you feel maybe as an offense a little bit more responsibility moving forward, considering the defensive injuries that have happened recently? And what can you say about that unit as well to kind of have the game that they did?
Yeah, a few times looking out there and seeing guys that aren't in their right spots. Izzy's playing corner. That guy stepped up big time. You got a lot of guys that it's just the way the game goes. But I thought our defense played lights out. Jaden Daniels is not easy to tackle. He's a elusive man. They stayed with the plan and held him to a lot of points. So I thought the defense played outstanding. They really did.
Baker, not a perfect night offensively, but I have to imagine you couldn't have hoped for too much more out of a week one game from this new offense.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that we can work on. Like I mentioned, the finishing in the end zone instead of the field goals in the first half. But yeah, we'll look at the tape and get better from it. But I thought we finished really, really strong. To be able to run the
Yes.
ball like we did on the last
Yes.
drive and finish in the end
Yes.
zone, that's a back-breaking drive. And that's
Yes.
credit to the guys up front, receivers, tight ends blocking, running backs hitting the hole. And it takes the morale out of the other team.
Baker, you guys have had an awesome off-season, getting everybody back, but they put it all together in game one. What does it feel like just in terms of moving forward with this team?
That's the standard that this group has. We expect to be able to come out and be that efficient. Every game's going to be different. This is the NFL. It's highly competitive, but we expect to be able to be that efficient on offense. Defense is going to play physical. But yeah, it's good to see that we came out week one, put everything together. Like I said, there's still stuff to work on, but this is a good building block for us.
I know you're going to enjoy this win, but the Detroit Lions are up next. That's a team to see if they like these guys.
Jay-Z, was Nelson back in here?
Guys have circled it week two.
Yeah.
Just talk about what that game means.
Yeah, you know what? That's anytime you finish the season against somebody on the road, especially
Talk
and
about
then you
it.
play them early on. It's something
Talk
that you
about
always
it.
look forward to, especially at the competition level. Detroit it's a fun place to play. Dan Campbell always has those guys ready to play. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. There's a lot of things to learn on from this tape, but whenever you're playing them, you expect it to be a really physical game. So we got to be ready for that. Got to be able to handle the crowd noise. But yeah, like you said, enjoy this win. Never take wins in this league for granted, and then move on.
Baker, you seem to really enjoy that one.
Come on. I want to talk about this press conference real quick. Then I want to talk about the offense. Come on.
Tried to juke out Bobby Wagner earlier. It didn't work out. I really don't have it, even though I think I do. But yeah, later on, if it's a guy coming from the side, you just a couple extra yards. But yeah, ultimately protect myself. Got to be smart.
So about the offensive line performance for today, how do you feel with them? Your thoughts on the offensive line for today's performance?
I feel really confident. Like I said, I thought they played really well. That front seven that they have, they bring some different looks, pressures, and just the matchups are not easy. And I thought they played really well.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. So they're going to bring in some other people, I think. We're not going to stop and listen to that. We're going to let that go, and we're going to have our conversation. And at the end of what conversation we have, we'll play whoever they had a press conference at the end of this. So shout out to NY Phenom in the building. Respect Bake. Now, let's talk about Bake. Let's talk about this press conference real quick. They talked about the Lions. They talked about us having the game we had today. They talked about, I guess that's it for today. They talked about going back to play the Lions after the whole playoff situation last year, how it ended. Now I'm not saying the reporter was baiting him or anything like that, but that was bait for the old Baker Mayfield to come out. What do I mean by that? That was bait for Baker to get into his, chip on the shoulder. Let me be that rah guy. Yeah, we want revenge. We da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and feel himself, be feeling himself. And he didn't. He went very calm, very collective, very, it's a game that we want to play, and, we know what they're going to do, blah, blah, blah. We want to be better. Blah. He just went very calm, very mind is focused on the team and the journey of the team. We're focused on that. It's not about my revenge game. It's not about, this is my time to pump my chest and say, we want them bad. He didn't do none of that. He just, it's another game. We know what we got to do. We got to get better. He focused on us. So I'm not focused on them, not focused on what we want to do to them. I'm focused on us and what we got to do better to beat them and everybody else. We're focused on what we got to do to be better. So that's great. Round of applause for Baker on that. Good job. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Baker getting smarter, getting more mature. All that is good, man. Let's continue. Let's talk about this offense because this offense, bro, was. I kept saying it. I kept saying it during training camp that I am so excited, and I kept trying to like calm myself down and try to like downplay my excitement for the defense, my excitement for the offense, and how I was like, my defense leveled up, my offense leveled up, my offense might really have really leveled up. I just see this like, bro, we could really be good. And the whole training camp, you guys saw the few live streams I did. You guys saw I was trying to calm myself down that whole time, but I couldn't stop myself from being excited. And it's because I just knew the talent that we have, and I didn't know what Liam Cohen was gonna look like. I mean, obviously, we knew that this should be some type of Sean McVay type of offense. We didn't know how much of it. You know, we were hearing rumors that it's pretty much Sean McVay with a little bit of his stuff and some other things. Then we heard from his mouth a few times, Liam's mouth, that it's pretty much Sean McVay, but also it's a lot of things that the Bucs have been doing good with these wide receivers for the last couple of years. So I wasn't really sure how we were going to look offensively, how the run game was going to look. I didn't know any of that. Like we had an idea of what it was probably going to look like, something like Sean McVay. Now it did. We also knew that we were going to have a better play caller. We already knew, and this is something that I tried to tell Panther fans. I tried to tell them over and over and over again, bro. And Falcon fans, because Falcon fans, again, I said it yesterday, Falcon fans are like, oh, think about it. We had the record that we had with Desmond Ritter as our quarterback. And I'm thinking to them like, bro, if you only understood what we had to go through. Like, yes, we get it. You had the record that you had with that quarterback you had to deal with. But we had our own situations we had to deal with. Not having a run game, having a first-time play caller who didn't know how to adjust, who didn't know how to game plan, who didn't even know how to use his team. We had to go through several years before he could figure out how to use Mike Evans. And he barely at the end of the season figured out how to use Chris Godwin. We had to go through a year where he had to figure out how the defense is going to attack Mike Evans. Like, he had to learn all this stuff on the fly. And I told people this, even if we would have had Dave Canellis for a second year, yeah, I would have been like, okay, Baker should be better and the offense should be a little bit better because it's the second year. But him as an offensive coordinator, I still wouldn't have known if he was going to be better or not, because he never showed me that he learned from anything. He never showed us that last year. He never showed us that he learned how to adjust. He never showed us that he learned from his mistakes. He would go away from something because it would be a game or two that it didn't work. So he would finally go away from it, and then it would start working a little bit, and then he would go right back to it like if it was working all along. Like, are you not getting it? So people were not understanding that I was saying right away from training camp and from preseason, we can see we already have a better offensive coordinator as a play caller. We already know. And if he does know Sean McVay's system and knows how to run his system, I already knew that the system would be better than the system we were running with Dave Canellis. And be more explosive. Now, the one part that we all had to sit back and wait is the run game, bro. The run game. This was by far the biggest thing for us, for the whole team. The biggest thing was our interior O-line and the run game. How are we going to be? The interior line and the run game. Now, I said it in halftime. I will say it again. It is week 1. Now, just because we had a good run game this week doesn't mean we're going to have a good run game. I will say this. The run game we had going against this team, this defensive line, their defensive tackles are no joke. It's not going to get that much harder than those two defensive tackles running against them. So it's a very good test, and we could probably take a lot from it. But again, being the football guy that I am and knowing what I know, we still have to say it's week one. It's week one. Maybe they just, as a D-line, just wasn't hitting the ground running. But I will say this again, that front seven in general, not just the D-line, the front seven, Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, those guys plus the D-line, that's not an easy front seven to run on. It's not. It shouldn't be, at least. It shouldn't be. Let's say that on paper, it should not be. With those two defensive tackles, it should not be an easy front seven to run on. And we did a pretty freaking good job running. Now, I said if we have a good run game, I think we go into the NFC Championship. Now, let's put that to the side. Let's stay on the run game. Bucky freaking Irving is him, bro. Round of applause for Bucky Irving, bro. Bucky Irving is that guy, bro. I said it in training camp. I said, low-key, I like Rachaad White. But Rachaad White got to watch his back. Rachaad White got to watch his back. Bucky Irving just fits this O-line in this run game perfectly. And to be honest, Rachaad should fit this run game perfectly too, to be honest with you. But for some reason, it feels like this is the difference between the two running, right? It feels like when the ball is handed off to Rachaad is like, okay, where's the hole? There's the hole. Hit it. With Bucky, it feels like as soon as he gets the ball, he hits where that hole is supposed to be. And then that allows the O-line to move the guy. And even when they're moving the guy and then they get beat back into where the hole's at, it don't matter. Bucky's already out of there. Bucky's already out of there. Like, maybe I have to watch some game tape. But that's what it feels like. It feels like Rachaad is making sure that the hole is there. And, sometimes we got it and the hole's there and he gets his run off. But with Bucky, it just felt like every time he touched the ball, we got something good. And it felt like it was because as soon as he got the ball, whether the hole was there, he was going to hit it and do a little wiggle and make a hole. And most of the times when he hit it, the hole was there real quick. And by the time that hole closed, Bucky's already gone. He's already gone. He's already out it. So Bucky just, oh my God, the run game with Bucky was just nasty, man. From there, I want to go to here. I want to go back to my offensive coordinator because this is what else I noticed, right? They talked about Todd Bowles about, hey, when you were with Bucky, was it about who had the hot hand or what was it? And Bucky and Todd was like, yeah, it was a little bit of who had the hot hand, which was Bucky at the time. But with Liam Cohen, right? He made sure, okay, we're running it with Bucky. All right, now we're going to have Bucky and Rachaad in the backfield. Let's act like we're giving it to Bucky and give it to Rachaad. He's making sure Rachaad is like, you're getting fed, bro. Like, I'm not doing this hot hand. And he's talked about this, where it's not about juggling. Oh, he has the hot hand. Let's feed him. We're going to, whenever it's him, I'm feeding him like you're in there. But if you're not in there, you're not in there. And if he got the hot hand, he used him since he had the hot hand and tried to use him as a decoy and gave it back to Rachaad White because he's the number one running back. Now, it didn't work, but the point that I'm trying to make is Liam Cohen showing again being a great offensive coordinator where it's like, it's not just, for instance, if it was Dave Canellis, it would have just been Bucky. And maybe it would have worked because Bucky was hot and he was doing good. But also, we would have stopped having a run game after a while. They would have just been like, yeah, they're just giving it to Bucky. Just shut it down. Shut Bucky down. Liam is like, I'm going to keep you off center. I'm never going to keep you I'm never going to keep you balanced. I'm going to keep you off balance. Even when I'm giving it to this guy and he keeps winning and he keeps winning, I'm not going to just feed it to him and feed it because he keeps winning and keeps winning. I'll run the ball, but I'll run it over here. Even though this is working, okay, it's working. Let me put it in my back pocket. Let me go somewhere else. Let me try running it like this now. Now, I'm not going to just keep going until you stop it, and then you stop it, and now we got to figure something else out, guys. No, it's working. Okay, did that a couple times, put it in my back pocket, let's try something else. And he did that not just with the run game, he did that with the pass game. Let's talk about the pass game. First of all, before we get to the pass game, the other last part I liked about the run game is even when we run the ball and it doesn't go nowhere, the fact that we have those zone runs that everybody's moving one way, it what's the word I'm looking for? It programs that front seven. It's consistently programming that front seven. Everybody move. And when they have to always move with the line, now let's get to the passing game. First off, shout out to Baker once again because he said what should have been said, which was I didn't have to go into my tool bag too much because Liam called a pretty perfect game. I don't know if he said perfect game, but he called a pretty good game. True. Now, I will say this as right here in this comment. Respect Bake. Bake did his thing. I'm not taking nothing away from Bake. Someone said it right here. Shout out to Diggleman in the building. He said, that was Lombardi Baker. If he plays like that, I don't see how we lose. That's facts. That is facts. We talked about this last year about Lombardi Baker. Lombardi Baker is nice with it. Listen, Baker was the only thing I would say is his accuracy wasn't Lombardi Baker. So I would say this was more, excuse me, this was more New Orleans Saints Baker. But his production was definitely Lombardi Baker, right? I mean, his production and his completion percentage was definitely like Lombardi Baker. But his play was more like New Orleans Baker. A lot of mobility, a lot of in the pocket, moving around and not getting tackled and making plays on the run. That was New Orleans Saints. And he was wasn't super accurate like Lombardi Baker, but still. Point is, this type of Baker, I don't see how we lose. And I agree. I agree with it. But he's completely right. He's completely right. Liam Cohen called a really good game. Run game, pass game. It wasn't we're doing too much of this. Let's start doing this. It was just, okay, I'm setting him up for this. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. That worked. Let's try it again. Okay, that worked. Put it in the back pocket. All right, let's set him up for this now. Let's do this. Okay, like he was just boom, boom, do this, do that. Let's try that. Okay, third down in this. All right, I got to play for that. Boom, take care of that. All right, boom, let's do this. The way we distributed the rock, it felt like a preseason game. That's how good we was today. It felt like a preseason game. It felt like we really wasn't even in our bag. Like we wasn't even in our bag. Perfect example. Let me see. What was Mike Evans's? Let me see what Mike Evans's numbers were today. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Stop. Come on. I just want to see the thing. Thank you. Okay. What's going on? I just want to see the stats. That's all I want to see. Here we go. Game stats. Buccaneers. All right. Let's see. 5 receptions for 61 yards. I didn't even think he had 61 yards, to be honest with you. 5 receptions for 61 yards. Chris Godwin had 8 receptions for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. Rashad White, 6 receptions for 75 yards. K. Dotton, 1 reception for 5 yards. Trey Palmer, 1 reception for 19 yards. Bucky Irvin, 2 receptions for 14 yards. Jalen McMillan, 1 reception for 32 yards and a touchdown. And he should have had another touchdown. And there was another touchdown that he should have had that was a pass interference. Beautiful distribution. Beautiful. We had the plays that basically gave our rookie and Trey Palmer just easy receptions. Just wide open, rookie. Wide open. The plays were just wide open. Then we had Mike Evans where it was like, just easy. Just beat your guy. We know. Like, Baker, okay, I'll say this. Baker did not have to go through his progressions, right? And this is what I think Baker means by I didn't have to go through my toolbox much. He didn't have to go through many of his progressions, right? Now, usually I'll be mad about that, right? Usually I'll be like, I don't like when my quarterback doesn't go through his progressions where he only looks at one thing that's like, oh, that. But the difference is this. Everything is done pre-snap. So that means Baker pre-snap said, okay, this should be open. And he snipes the ball and it was open. The only time he went through other progressions is when he had to take his eyes off of down the field because he felt the pressure. He had to run around and then he would like scan the field, find who he was going to throw it to and throw the ball. I'm not mad at it. He was predetermining where he was going with the ball pre-snap. And it was right. About 80-90% of the time it was right. And it wasn't because he was just going to Mike Evans. That's the beauty of this. It wasn't because he was just going to Mike Evans. He went to Mike Evans when he was like, oh, it looks like they have Mike Evans one-on-one. Okay. One-on-one, Mike Evans is going to eat. No one's holding on to Mike Evans one-on-one. He's going to eat. All right, I'm going to Mike Evans. Then there was plays where he's like, okay, this is 3rd down. Okay, the little shift, okay, I see what they're going to do. They're going to leave Chris Godwin, and he should be able to eat right here. Boom, got Chris Godwin. Boom, got Chris Godwin. Then there was 3rd downs where they're like, okay, I see what they're playing. I want the 1st down, or I want the touchdown or whatever. I'm going to take the shot. And based on what that defense is looking like, this guy should be open. Jalen McMillan, hike, boom, he's there. He's open. I got him. Like, it was just, when you're one reading and it's not the same guy over and over and over again, then I know that it's pre-snap. You're actually figuring out the defense. When it's just you're one reading, but it's the same wide receiver over and over, I really don't know if you're one reading or you're just saying, I'm just going to go to this guy every time. And the fact that he was one reading, but he would go to Chris Godwin. One read, go to Rashad White. Well, he was ready to dump it down to Rashad the whole time. One read, but he knew he was going to Jalen McMillan down the field the whole time. And again, they're not like double teamed. He decided he was going to go to him and he went to him anyways, and they were double, triple team, but he decided pre-snap he was going to go and he threw it anyways. No, they were like, oh, he made the right read because he was wide open. I can't say enough about this offense, bro. This offense. Now, I will say this. We knew coming into this game that their secondary was going to be their downfall, right? Their secondary was going to be their downfall. But here's why I feel like we can still be excited. Because one, their front 7 was pretty decent and we still was able to run on them. That's one. 2, you see that Liam Cohen isn't just doing one thing. He wasn't just, what he told us, he didn't lie. He said he was going to do Sean McVay stuff, but also other stuff that he's seen the Bucs and their weapons be good at doing too. We did all of that. We did screens like Dave Canellis. We did Sean McVay stuff down the field. We did a lot of motioning. We did plays that Mike Evans is just, he's going to eat. We did plays where Chris Godwin, he's just going to eat. We did plays where the play was really just going to be checked down to Rashad. We're going to, make it look all fancy and threaten them down the field, but really we're just going to check it down. Like, we did everything in one game. And again, it wasn't like, oh, we pulled out the tricks. It didn't even seem like we pulled out the bag of tricks yet. It just seemed like these are just our things of what we know we can do good. This is easy. This is the easy stuff for us. So it's just like, okay, we can run the ball. It's week 1, but the good part about it is this should have been a good front 7, a good test for us. So that's something that we can hang our hats on. We'll find out more week 2. Now, passing-wise, we knew that they were going to be bad secondary-wise, so that should have been their weakness. So I'm not going to put too much on the passing, but again, what we found was Baker was able to identify, and he was right, and the guys were open. And not only that, we didn't sit there and depend on Sean McVay plays. We didn't sit there and depend on running the ball like the Falcons, who they just sat there and depended on Bijan Robinson the whole time. They literally just sat there and just tried to run the ball, check the ball down in. That's all they did. They ran everything through him. Period. We didn't do that. We ran a little bit through Mike Evans. We ran a little bit through Chris Godwin. We ran a little bit through Jalen McMillan. We ran a little bit through Rashad White, running and passing. Ran a little bit through Bucky. Like, we showed that we can attack in different ways, and all of it is lethal. How are you stopping Mike Evans? How are you stopping Chris Godwin? And then on top of that, again, I've been telling people, I told Panther fans, I won't be surprised if our third string wide receiver, Jalen McMillan, our rookie, has more yards than any of your starting receivers. So when you got to worry about Mike and you got to worry about Chris, look at how wide open Jalen McMillan is down the field. And then on top of that, even if you're singling Mike Evans and singling Chris Godwin and you try to double a Trey Palmer, he's still going to beat you with his speed. Like, people don't understand the weapons that we have, bro. People do not understand the mismatches. This is what I try to tell people. It's not about the names. This goes with what Todd Bowles was saying. It's not about the best 53. It's about the right 53. What can you bring to the table? Oh, I'm one of the best outside wide receivers. We already got that. That's Mike Evans. So what else can you bring? Oh, I can kill it in the slot. Oh, we already got that with Chris Godwin. What else can you bring? Oh, my name's Trey Palmer. I can beat double teams because I'm just too fast for everybody. Welcome to the 53-man roster. What about you? Oh, my name is Jalen McMillan. I can do whatever Mike Evans does. I can do whatever Chris Godwin does. And I can play good in inside zones and sit there and be open. And I got good hands and good route running. Welcome to the team. Cameron Johnson, what can you do? Oh, I can, catch the ball. I can come out of the backfield. I can, that gadget guy. Okay, welcome to the team. Like, people don't understand the amount of mismatches that my offense presents. And then on top of all of that, we can run the ball? Who's stopping us? Who's stopping us? Real talk, who's stopping us? For reals. Like, I've watched all the games. I didn't watch any of the games while the Bucs was playing, so I didn't watch the Chargers and the Raiders, and I didn't watch any of those games with the Cowboys and all that. I didn't watch any of those games. But I saw the Texans game, which, by the way, I freaking missed 2.5 G's by half a point from the Texans game, bro. Half a freaking point. Gosh dang it. Let me double check I'll be stupid if I don't double check. I just needed the Texans to win by 3 points, and I think they just won by 2. 27, yep, 29. They only won by 2. So I would have had 2.5 G's, bro. Anyways, I saw the Texans game. I saw the Dolphins game. I saw the Atlanta game. I saw the Buffalo and Arizona game. I saw the Bengals, and bro, we looked better than all of them. We looked better than all of them. We looked more prepared than all of them. We looked more ready, more seasoned than all of them. We looked better coached than all of them, bro. I'm trying to think, is there anybody that really looked good? Oh, the Saints. The Saints looked good, but again, that was because they played the freaking Panthers. But yeah, man, it's bruh. Let's go to the comment section real quick. Mazement says no turnovers committed is a positive. Pass rush was okay. JTS finished the play finally. I want to see how Britt plays this season. Thankfully, we're deep at safety as well. We got through it. Yes, so we got safety help, so we can bring in some of those guys, and we can have Izzy continue to play outside if we need to. But hopefully, Zion McCollum comes back. And not only that, Keenan Isaac, we should be able to bring him back because supposedly he's out there on the streets. Diggleman says that was a Lombardi. Oh, we read that already. Amazing is like what I saw from White and Irving too. Nice combo. O-line improved. Lions next, so we'll see if it's improved for real. Facts. This Lions game is everything. This Lions game is everything, right? Because if we beat the Lions, I believe we're true contenders. If we beat the Lions. If we don't beat them, doesn't mean anything. That's the great part, right? If we don't beat them, doesn't mean anything. But if we beat the Lions, it means we're truly contenders. We're truly NFC Championship contenders because there's nobody else in the way. There's only the Lions, the Niners, and even the Eagles. Even though after watching the Eagles, I think the Eagles pretty much picked up where they left off last year, and that's not good for them. Jalen Hurts is not looking good. So I honestly think it's the Lions and the Niners that are going to be in our way to get to the NFC Championship. So and maybe the Rams. I'm not scared of anybody else. I'm not scared of the Packers. I'm not scared of anybody else that you could think of in the NFC. I'm not even worried about them at all. Not even worried about them. They can't match up with us. Nobody in the NFC can match up with the Bucs. The only ones that can match up with the Bucs is the 49ers and the Lions. I think the Lions are actually going to be nice with the addition of Carlton Davis, and they added somebody else too. The Lions might be a problem this year. So if we could beat the Lions, I think nobody can stand in our way to the NFC Championship. It's just between the Lions and the 49ers. And we play both of them, I believe, this year. So I'm very interested to see what we look like against them. NY Phenom says, media tried to say something about the Falcons. Well, don't listen to the media. Liam Cohen is a beast. Yes, sir. Big Al says, hell yeah, Bucky did his thing. Facts. Steelers handled them with a backup quarterback and a kicker. Facts. Keep disrespecting us, media. Always. Falcons are chokers. Saints not worried. Not worried neither. Panthers are a joke too. Yeah. I'm not. Saints are gonna have to show me something against another team, not against the Panthers. Panthers might be the worst team in the NFL again. Jalen McMillan redeemed himself on that big time touchdown catch. Yes, sir. Yeah, Jalen should have had 2 TDs for real. That's a fact. Dave, head coach of Panthers, is booty. Baker MVP. Big Al, round of applause, baby. Yes, sir. 1-0. Cali Bucs in the building. Why weren't you live? I'll tell you why I wasn't live. The reason why I wasn't live was for 2 reasons. One, I always wanted to not be live during the game and just come in with I feel like the post-game shows are better when I'm not live because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about that I didn't get to talk to you. When I'm playing the game live with you guys, I've pretty much already said everything I wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? During commercial breaks and everything. That's one reason. Number 2 is because I did not buy Sunday ticket this year. I did not buy Sunday ticket. I'm not wasting my money. I have a box. I have a box that I get everything for free. The only thing about that is like it's about 45 seconds late. You know what I'm saying? Behind live TV. So because of that, I didn't want to go live and have anybody come in here and be like, "Oh my God, what a play," or whatever. You know how that happens. I just didn't want to take those chances. And plus, like I said, I feel like post games shows are better when you guys haven't heard me say anything, and then I could come in here and say what I want to say. So pretty much, I don't think I'll be going live now. I'm not gonna promise you I'm not gonna go live because things might happen that I might feel like I need to go live during the game and talk about something. But for the most part, I'm hoping that I don't go live and I just have these post game live streams. Amazement says, did I see some rub plays with Mike Evans and Chris? LOL. Finally scheming guys open now for a change. I love it, baby. Yes, you did. You did. Yes, you did. Buck Ray Bolts. And again, they're just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We did a little bit of this. We ran a little bit of that. We ran a little bit of this. Listen, balling. We just balled. We balled. Professor X in the building. I'm feeling 12-5. Final prediction. Huh? We'll see. We'll see. That's my QB. All right, I see you, NY. Amazement says, as long as we win games we're favored in and get the toss-up games, we can win double-digit games easily. Yes, agreed. Graham Barton is a demon. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, Mike gonna always be Mike and do Mike things, but Chris was a beast out there. It looked like he's becoming Baker's safety net. I wouldn't say safety net, but it does look like Baker finally has a connection with him. It does look like he trusts him, and it does look like he's understanding his route running. And that's got to be scary for the league. That's got to be scary for the league. Again. People do not understand how good of weapons we have offensively. People respect Mike Evans. They respect, oh yeah, Mike Evans is a top 10 player. No, he's not a top 10 player. He is not a top 10 player. He is a top 3 player. Period. He is a top 3 receiver. Period. I don't care what anybody says. And guess what? He's not 3. He is not 3. I've said this many times and I will continue to say it. There is only one wide receiver that is as dangerous as a wide receiver as Mike Evans. And that is, no, you're wrong. That is Tyreek Hill. That is the only other wide receiver that is just as dangerous as Mike Evans. Devontae Adams is not as dangerous as Evans. Justin Jefferson is not as dangerous as Evans. He's really good, don't get me wrong. His route running is nice, and his hands are probably the best in the league. Don't get me wrong. But I said dangerous. Dangerous. In other words, you have to stop him from winning the game. You can stop Devontae Adams from winning the game. You can stop Justin Jefferson from winning the game. You have to give a lot of assets to stop Mike Evans. Just like Tyreek Hill. You have to give up a lot of assets to stop Tyreek Hill. And you have to give up a lot of assets to stop Mike Evans. And that's with Mike Evans having any type of quarterback. Ain't nobody. Then on top of that, you got Chris Godwin. People don't understand that. Chris Godwin is a number 1 wide receiver, bro. He is a number 1 wide receiver. Like, they just don't get it. They don't get it, bro. They don't get it. They don't get how. Why do the Bucs keep? Why do they keep being good? Why are the Bucs steadily staying good? I don't get it. It's simple. It's very simple. Todd Bowles knows how to coach players and knows how to scheme up games and make your quarterback look worse than what they are and keep your points down low. And guess what? Whatever quarterback we have a weapon in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They're going to look average at worst. It just is. Just with those weapons. I'm sorry. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. I don't care who the quarterback is. We're still going to be pretty good offense. Just because of the weapons. Just because of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Period. Mike Evans will make any offensive scheme work, which is why it worked with Dave Canellis. And they think Dave Canellis was the reason. No, it was Mike Evans. He bailed out Dave Canellis and he bailed out Baker. Mike Evans is that guy, period. And then when you got a good offensive coordinator that can utilize Mike Evans and utilize Chris Godwin, guess what? It's unstoppable, bro. It's Jalen in the slot is going to be killer. We have always been dangerous when we had a third guy to go along with Evans and Godwin. Godwin in the slot, Jalen in the slot, Trey Palmer in the slot. Shoot, even Mike Evans. Mike Evans played the slot before. It don't matter. You can't cover all these guys. Period. It don't matter. Shoot, Bucky or Rashad in the slot. It really don't matter. There's gonna be a mismatch somewhere. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like, people don't understand. Gilly's in the building. Shout out to Gillies. I think he's a Saint fan. He says Saints will beat y'all in week 6. Whoa, we'll find out. I doubt it very much. Unless we're beat up, but I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much. We are the king of the crop in this division, and it shows. We're on a different level, bro. Matter of fact, we're the king of the crop in this conference. Like I said, the only one that's on our level is the Niners and the Lions. That's it. That's it. I don't know if we're as good as them, but they're the only ones that are in our way. But as far as the Saints or anybody in our division, you're not on our level. You're just not. You're too old. You're too slow. You're not talented enough, and you don't have a good coaching staff. You're just now. Could you guys beat us? Yeah. Like I said, maybe we're beat up or something, or it comes down to the wire. You guys get a good play or something. Hey, it happens. It's football. But to act like you guys, you're not the cream of the crop. I'm sorry, it's us. We're just too good. We're too talented. We're too smart. We're too fast. We're too strong. Like, we're too prepared. We're too smart. Like, what else do I got? I don't know. Super Bowl boys. Marshawn Lattimore owned his son Evans for real. He has never owned Evans. Period. He don't own anybody. He's a co-parent. He needs a safety. He can't do it by himself. He's never been a single parent. He's never been a single parent. He's a co-parent. He needs the safety over the top. He could never handle Evans. Well, he can't handle Chris Godwin one-on-one. Like, he can't handle these guys one-on-one, period. And I've proven it time and time again. I got film. I literally got film. I got film, like, recorded on the channel showing you the whole game. Like, yeah, look at this play. Look, see, he stopped Evans, but that's because he has safety over the top. Oh, no safety over the top. Look, that should have been a touchdown. Should have been a touch. Like, he can't handle Evans without a safety over the top, period. Amazement. Ain't nobody worried about the Aints. That's a fact. Shake Bake is back, baby. Drop some bombs for that. We want them Lions. I want revenge. Oh, what happened? What, Bug Red? Todd was right. Still don't know manager timeouts first half. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Tampa Bay Rays fan in the building. Also, Washington is also going through a transition. Yes. And again, I know how to defer. The thing is, it wasn't the people that are wide open, right? Jalen McMillan, that's scheme. Mike Evans, I don't care if you're going through a transition or you're a Super Bowl team. Mike Evans is going to be open. And Chris Godwin done what he always does. So it isn't like, the reason why I know we can be satisfied, I explained it earlier, is because what we did is what we do. That's why it don't matter. What we did is what we do. The one thing that I could say, we got to pump our brakes, which whether we were in transition, whether the Washington Redskins were in transition or not, I would have said pump our brakes, was how easy and confident Baker Mayfield looked in the pocket, right? Throwing the ball and stuff like that. Like, that's where I'm like, okay. Because again, We know that their weakest spot is their secondary, and they're transitioning. They got a new coach, and they're so we give them some grace. But yeah, I've seen enough, and I know this team enough to know that we can be hyped. We can be hyped. We have, one before halftime could get 7 before halftime. No, that's not true. Bucks team is better than last year. Gilly says Saints gonna beat the Cowgirls and E-Girls and also Falcons and Chiefs, and y'all 6-0. Okay. If y'all beat all, hey, I'll tell you that. If you guys beat all them, then yeah, I ain't got nothing to say against the Saints. Then maybe you guys are the cream of the crop. But I doubt that happens. Top seed in the NFC with undefeated record. We'll see. We'll see. Big Al says he didn't need to use any timeouts. We already was up. We almost scored before half, but had to settle for a field goal. Saints going to be top seed in the NFC road. The Super Bowl going to be a dome. Saints going to be top seed. And okay, this guy's. Do I not have what's it called? Don't you think it's a little early to be calling that? Talk about jinxing your team. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just loving the offense, and the defense just got to get healthy. That's a fact. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up for my guy RTP. Yes, thank you. Don't treat RTP like a side chick. Hit that. I like y'all. Mayfield, a quiet 4 TDs. Facts. Can't believe Saint fans are boasting over beating Panthers. LOL. Like I said, having a third guy is going to be a problem, and we have more speed in the backfield as well. Professor X says Bucky 9 carries 62 yards, total team 110 plus yards. Nice. I didn't check that stat, but thank you for checking that stat for me. We're going to be more dynamic on offense easily, especially with play calling, scheming, guys open. Going to be fun with Bake at the helm. Yes, Rashad West. Poor Dave out there, LMAO. Glad he left. I'm glad he left too, and I do feel bad for him as well because, man, Panther fans in different podcasts is already talking about another different head coach already, bro. Like, they're already done. Panther fans already know their season's done. They already know. I think going live after the game lets you give better insight anyways about the game and your thoughts. You can focus more on details and what you're going to speak on. All right? Tony Lee in the building. Rashad better start hitting the hole before Bucky take his job. That's a fact. That's what I said, man. Carolina and New York Giants might be the worst teams in the NFL. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Giants. The Giants are pretty bad, too. I forgot about the Giants. Got to give it up for the Great Wall of Tampa, the O-line. They're not the Great Wall yet, but again, like I said, week 1, and their D-line, both their D tackles are, that's not easy. That's not an easy thing. Let's get to some of this.
And we start with the spread. Obviously, the Bucs covered comfortably. All right, they were sleeping under the blanket with the temp at about 65 degrees, and they were just snugged up under the blanket. They covered this shit.
This is a Washington Redskins
was interesting. I thought there was a chance it could go over, but I went under. But I told you, I said I can see this being a shootout. It was a shootout on one side.
Yeah.
One team was doing the shooting, right?
Yeah.
Guess who's doing the dropping?
He thought dropping.
They smashed the 44 on the total. So
it ain't like your quarterback was dealing.
But let's get to some of the prop bets brought to you by Bet.
He really thought they were going to beat us.
Zach Ertz.
He really thought they were going to beat us.
I said, hey, go get yours. They're giving away money here. Zach Ertz, 20.
Canellis was a slow learner as an OC with Bucs. That's a fact.
They're giving away money. Boy, they made us sweat. Boy, they made us sweat. Boy, they want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more.
Yeah.
Boy, until that last drive, that garbage time drive where he caught it and went up the sideline, Zach Ertz did not have 23 yards receiving. But he got 28 on 3 grabs. And so if you bet the over on Zach Ertz, I told you I would have gave you money. But I would have gave it
away. Trying to see if there's anybody else real quick to react.
They made you sweat, but you got your money. Zach Ertz, 28. yards receiving in this game. He went over that total. All right. Vegas knows something, right? Terry McLaurin, I told you I was taking the under here. I was taking the under, and I would have won, right? I knew he wasn't. He should have went over this total on one play. I'm disappointed. We would have felt a lot better about Jaden's performance, the offense's performance, and Terry's lack of targets would have felt. You could have cushioned it a little bit more.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else we can
Terry
watch.
runs in the end zone. You know, gotta hit that shit, man. Damn. Terry went under the 58.5 point total for receiving yards in this game. Next prop bet brought to you by BetUS. Zach Ertz receptions. I would have taken the over. I thought he was going to get peppered in this game over and over and over again. As you can see, that was not the case. Ertz, 3 catches, which I still would have won my bet, right? I just thought he would have had 5 or 6 catches in this game. I just thought there was that connection we heard about all season.
They
And
lie.
he didn't get the ball a ton.
He's a cool guy.
Still went over the 2.5 total. And then Jaden Daniels, obviously.
He's a cool guy, but again, like a lot of people, they don't learn from their mistakes. And like I said, a lot of these YouTubers, they don't learn from their mistakes, right? One of the mistakes being you can't believe everything you hear. You got to find proof. You got to find who are the reporters that like to lie or who like to exaggerate. You got to find out what coaches that do press conferences like to lie, like to exaggerate, like to protect their players, like to BS you, and who likes to keep it real. You gotta figure this stuff out, man. And these guys like to just stay in the not knowing what's going on with their team because they don't want to put in the work and break. Well, but then again, I have a sixth sense. Like I said, I have a sixth sense where I got a good idea of like when someone's lying to me.
All of those numbers.
No, he's still in the league.
Brought to you by BetUS. All right, let's get to the comment section. I'm dying to see what y'all, because I already know y'all are in here. Gloom,
let me hear what you got to say.
Season's over. Fire everybody.
Let me hear. Let's hear what you got to say.
See what you guys are on. All right.
Let's hear it.
Let's see what you guys are talking about. Shadow Striker starts us off tonight. Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBP, who writes, left hand up, right hand up, touchdown Bucs. Good one.
Yeah.
For real. Glad JD settled in. Looks promising. I believe that as well. I walked away feeling good about him.
See?
There was some misses. You could tell that there was some times where he got spooked, like the pass interference they called on Dennis, the linebacker, on Luke McCaffrey. Jaden was spooked. He threw off his back foot. You know, that pass wasn't even close, but it was pass interference. But he just
barely, if it was.
He was spooked, right? And remember, one of the knocks that I had, I can't speak for anybody else. One of the knocks that I had on Jaden Daniels was when he scrambles, he doesn't scramble to look to throw.
Exactly.
Once he scrambles, he's running. Did you see any scrambles with him looking to push the ball down the field? His eyes drop and he's ready to make a play as a runner.
So what made you feel like there was good things that you saw today? Like, I don't get it. Matter of fact,
I think that's going to be
how many yards did he pass for?
Progress for him, because that is not a strength of his, if you ask me, and it wasn't in college. He says, upset about that Terry missed throw, story of his career. It's so sad. I know, man. I feel bad for Terry because he didn't get enough targets, and then when he finally wins, he gets a target and he wins. That's the end result, right? You know,
he had 184 passing yards.
We used to shit on Taylor Heineke, but the only guy that could seem to get Terry the deep ball
didn't seem like it
was Taylor Heineke. He says, sad that there's defensive teams that have better cornerback units on practice squad. I can't confirm nor deny that, but I can tell you that our secondary, and I really want to narrow it to our corners, they're pretty bad. I like Noah Igbenogany, and I like, even though he struggled today, I think there's a bright future for.
Let's try another guy real quick.
And
Just to
again,
see.
Benjamin St. Juice was not in bad position.
You know me, I just like to see if we could get anybody acting crazy, going, being mad about losing. Let's see. Overreacting, Hate it when it's my own fan base, but I love it when it's other people's fan base. Let's see if I can. Want subscribers, right? Where is? There you go.
Yeah, let's not even wait till 8 p.m. No intro, no long-winded. Let's talk about this shit-ass game because I'm going to watch it in full again at some point tonight because I want some clarity on just how ass Washington looked today. We lost 37-20 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The debut of Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr., Cliff Kingsbury, and Adam Peters Washington was an absolute fucking dud. Washington falls on their faces and makes Baker Mayfield looked like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes 2.0, but despite how we were bad on every single level, I'm not going to throw the entire season away, throw the quarterback away, or throw away the plan. Therefore, it is a recalibrate. It's a rebuild. Fuck throwing makeup and putting lipstick on a pig. A rebuild is a rebuild. They don't want to use the word. It is that. Welcome to the channel, to my new guys that joined up today. Let's talk about everybody. Everybody gets an F. Every assistant coach, every coordinator,
Like to hear it.
every person on the Washington Commanders active roster. Everybody gets an F. The defense sold, the offense sold. We were bad on both times of the ball. We were bad on both sides of the ball. We were bad. We were bad today, y'all. We were a bad football team. I can try and...
That's the dude I was trolling. He's cool as heck, though.
Week 2 with a clean slate. We can do that on Tuesday. We can do it on Tuesday. We can put this game past us on Tuesday afternoon when we can start.
Was it this exact live that you were trolling him on?
Bad all around. It was bad all around, and like my guy Jay here says, it would be easy for anybody to say that this team did not improve. This team did not get any better. I'm going to go for about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what the action, what the comments, and what the chat is looking like. St. Juice, Forbes, it's a lot of the same stuff, and fans should be frustrated. But we can't. What we can't do as fans is be end all be all. The world is over because
289 yards, 4 touchdown, Baker, 24 for 30. Good
God. Daniels doesn't.
Good God, Baker.
Because Jaden, while he did not light it up statistically, he did leave some things to be desired. He left a touchdown on the field on a drive where we left with no points to Terry McLaurin on a deep ball on the first play. One of the few play calls you can say tonight that Cliffy boy, he schemed it up. He schemed it up, and Terry ran past Jamel Dean, ran past him, beat him like a drum, and he left it on the field. But this is not a pile-on session for any specific person. This is a pile-on session to the whole team. Game balls and gassers. Who gets a game ball from you guys? I'm not giving out any game balls this week. You know who the game ball goes out to? Fans. The fans get the game ball in week 1 because we packed Raymond James Stadium full of burgundy and gold. The motherfucker looked like a home game. Y'all were in my chat. 12.
You know who was delusional about their team? Panther fans. I know reality hit them hard today. I tried to tell them and they blocked me. I tried to tell them, like, bro, you're being delusional. Like, just be real about your team. And he got mad at me and blocked me. Well, they're not delusional no more. I know they know who they are now.
I love them, though. I love them. I love the team. And the season's not over. There's a lot of season to be left. Jaden's not a running back. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I don't see. That's what I hated. That's what I was trying to set people up when I said.
He was, though. He
don't
was.
pile too hard on Caleb's 92 yards because if we come out rough, I don't want to hear this about my quarterback. And here we are at 7:38 p.m. Eastern Standard after Washington just left a bag of rotten eggs and fecal matter on that stadium, 37-20. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the box score a little bit. Oh, I got a super. Let me read this super real quick. Appreciate you, Landry Ball. But Joe Witt Jr., really, bro? Cade York, I know. Cade York, We still have a kicker problem. We still have a cornerback problem. Benjamin St. Juice had a very golden opportunity early in this game to swing momentum. He jumped a route with
Do we
Jeremy
have the
Chin,
highest
and after
points?
this play, when he dropped this interception,
No,
we never
Saints.
saw them Bama make another
Saints are
positive play for the
47.
majority of a
Jeez.
3-hour ball game. Jeremy Chin led up a touchdown. Benjamin St. Juice contributed to a touchdown or two. Emmanuel Forbes, I tried. I said I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna go in with an open
Panthers.
mind. I'm gonna see new tutelage, new coaching. Emmanuel Forbes is exactly who you think he is. Who said that? Dennis Green, when he said the Chicago Bears or the Arizona Cardinals are exactly who we thought they were. Emmanuel Forbes is exactly who we thought he was. He's hot ass. We've seen about a 15, 16 game sample size. He looks like his confidence is completely shot on top of the fact that his technique is bad. His technique is not only bad, he's never in the right place. He's grabby, he's handsy, and he still throws his hands out like this, like he doesn't know what happened after he got beat. You are the problem, Emmanuel Forbes. It is not nobody else's fault. So when you go and talk to the media,
Damn,
and say,
93 yards
"Bears are a
for
little hard
Caleb?
on me.
Oh,
They
wow.
expect me to be perfect." Nigga, we just expect you to be adequate. We just
Caleb
expect
Williams
you to look
only
like
threw
an
for
NFL
93
football
yards.
player. Don't
Wow.
nobody in this fan base expect you to be perfect. Not a single person in this fan base expects you to be
JMC
perfect.
missed
Not a
2
one. There isn't even a blood
TDs.
relatives of
Let
Emmanuel
that sink
Forbes
in.
that would think
5-6
that
cutties
you should be
for
perfect.
SMB.
You
Yeah.
just need to look like an NFL football player because we're 1 year into your
Panthers
sophomore
look like a
season,
Pee-wee team.
and it's been
Tell me
a
about it, man.
rapid decline.
And I told them they were. I told them, look, I said,
of
I
not a
think
first
at
round
the end of the
pick.
season, I
These are
think Bryce
guys that
Young will have
also
better
had interest
production
in
than
drafting.
last year.
It still
That's not
was
saying
bad.
much because he really
We can
didn't do
talk
anything
about
last
Mikey
year.
Sanders still,
But I
too.
think you guys
Mikey
still won't
Sanders
be
still does not
competitive.
get the
I
good
still don't think you
criticism.
guys will be competitive.
Nobody is. Everybody can get the smoke this week, guys. 448 in the chat. Smash that like button. We did over 17,000 views on a 7-hour stream today. Fans showed their ass. Fans get the only game ball. Nobody gets a game ball from this team. Nobody deserves a game ball from this team. Jaden tried his best, but Jamin Davis, if we're gonna reach down real deep into our duffel bags, Jamin Davis made a play. He made a tackle for loss and he fought. We were getting pressure-ish. I say ish because we were getting in the vicinity of Baker Mayfield, but we weren't making anything happen. There's a lot to do. Quan mostly looked lost. Quan Martin still does look lost. We are still devoid of safeties. And you can't win when your cornerbacks suck and the safeties don't know where they're supposed to be. We still don't know how to line safeties up, y'all. So everybody air your grievances. Where were our receivers? Our receivers were out there doing cardio today, like they were last year.
The only team we have to watch for in the division is the Saints. Carr did look good in the game today. Yeah, I didn't really even watch that game.
Our receivers were out there. They were out there running around.
I mean, all I kept seeing was bad plays by Bryce, man.
And we got to look to our star players because there aren't many blue chippers on the roster.
But yeah, Falcons did not look good. Falcons did not look. Falcons looked worse than last year.
I'm looking at the new signings.
That's crazy. Falcons looked. I know they're not worse than last year, but they looked worse than last year.
Very slow, and Rashad White was getting in his ass on routes and through the run game. This team is still piss poor at tackling. It doesn't matter who's coaching the team. Physicality is physicality, and coaches can't make tackles for you. We can't tackle. We can't blame the soft.
I think that's where we're gonna end it, man. We got some of those Washington fans out here. Great freaking game, man. It's early. I'm about to shut it down. We got the Lions next. Matter of fact, the Lions are playing the Rams right now. Two teams we need to be watching. So I'm gonna shut it down, start cleaning, washing clothes and stuff, and put that game on. I'll see you guys. You know what it is. I'll see you guys next time I see you. Y'all be safe out there, man. Go Bucs one time. You know what's funny? Some of teams sounding just like how we was sounding years before Jason. Facts. Just can't get it right. I try to tell them it's more than just Tom Brady. It's a good GM, a good coaching staff, good players, good scouting. We're something we're building. We've built, not building. We've built a culture here. We've built something special. It's not just gonna be one player that leaves. That now we're not as good anymore. No, we built something. We've built a culture. We got it, bro. We got it. And until someone in our division builds a culture as good as ours, we're always gonna be in the lead to win this division. It's that simple. It's your man RTP, your host of the Pewter and Red podcast, man. I'll see you guys. Y'all be safe. We out of here.